Hello, everyone. My name is Veronika Mattová, and today I would like to present you with my topic about parasocial interaction within the framework of language learning, especially in the case of how K-pop and the Hallyu wave cultivate the Korean language skills. But first, a little bit about me. I'm currently working at Masaryk University under the Department of Mongolian, Vietnamese, and Korean Studies, with a bit experience of learning Korean through King Sejong Institute in Bratislava, Slovakia. Therefore, I would like to do this presentation a bit of from everything. We will have a bit theoretical review and introduction to this topic, but I've also included some practical things so you can enjoy some words and grammar if you like through Hallyu wave. So first of all, we need to define the main terms which will be here through the whole presentation. Therefore, we need to define them closer. So first off, parasocial interaction, because it's used term right now, but for not everybody, it's really close to their heart. Therefore, I would like to describe it as a psychological phenomenon where individuals form one-sided emotional connections with and there's a catch. It can be with basically anyone. First, it can be media personalities or public figures, as you can see on this slide, but we can also divide it to game characters, or even in nowadays like also Korean, but also global virtual development, also virtual influencers, or even book characters, webtoon characters. And there's also possibility with playing with your own imagination, where you can create your own specific persona. In this kind of case, in Korean framework, we will more talk about media personalities, but of course, within this context, there's also plenty of other things like already mentioned Korean webtoons, which are getting more and more popular and which are also a possible target for the parasocial interaction. And there's kind of when it's like few times for the individual. When it's repeated, they can create such a long-term bond, which can get into the relationship. Therefore, we call it parasocial relationship. But in this kind of emotional attachment, there's still an individual, or we can say the fan, who is still in the this kind of one-sided connection without reciprocity. So the celebrity has a special unawareness of the fan's existence. And even though fans are able to develop feelings of loyalty, care, emotional dependence, and even some pathological feelings, but we will talk about them later. First, we need to explain why is this important in this context. Because rise of the parasocial interaction and when it's repeated relationship can make the engaging more immerse and more enjoyable for the individual, and also it can provide many more benefits through emotional well-being, but also teaching influence, which will be also the core point of this presentation as well. Okay, we covered the first part, but I didn't mention that there's another influence, another concept that is called the 1.5-sided parasocial relationship. What is it? Well, firstly, I've kind of lied in the beginning because of this. There's some kind of reciprocity. In the traditional model of parasocial relationship, we can see the individual creating the answer from the celebrity only in their minds. But in the 1.5-sided scheme, there is a concept by Covert and Daniel from 2021, when they took into account also the social media and platforms which are allowing fans to interact with the celebrities, especially Korean celebrities in this context, much more. And therefore, it's of course still really low chance to get really closer, like in the personal relationship, but it still provides fans some comfort. And also, on the other hand, blurs the line between the passive observation and active engagement. In this kind of focus, we can also go concrete to the South Korea entertainment industry, and then we will make another bridge to the learning itself. But first of all, we need to define another key term of this presentation, which is the Hallyu wave. Hallyu wave is, let's say, combination of Korean pop music along with popular Korean dramas or Korean movies, which is really strong nowadays and become a global phenomenon with millions of fans actively engaging through digital platforms for the international fans and also for the local as well. Because of this huge hit, Korean entertainment agencies saw that and utilized that digital media to maintain and even enhance fan relationship. In this kind of area, we will not lie to you. Of course, there is a hidden monetary reason for that. On the other hand, it shows also the dedication for the fan service. And the best example for kind of these entertainment agencies apps are Weverse or Babbel for JYP Nation. This kind of interactive platforms, fans receive direct messaging and even can get exclusive idol content. In the Babbel for JYP Nation, there's also like extra monetary premium version where they can receive personalized message based on their favorite idols. So it's not visible for everybody for free, but they made it a bit of business there. So yes, but also it has a strong emotional bond because this kind of interaction can stimulate really interaction, which is really close to the 1.5 parasocial relationship. And idol host, or let's say celebrities, a live stream, respond to the comments, and provide a sense of accessibility for all of the fans when we are not talking about paid version. For example, Beavers makes it really accessible for most of the fans when you have a good internet connection, and it's really enjoyable. And they're trying to even add subtitles. So for those who also trying to learn Korean, there's even after Korean subtitles, so it's easier to learn from your favorite idol. But we will get to this a bit later. First, I wanted to also mention that this is not something new for the South Korean nation, because it comes hand by hand with their cultural norms and how they perceive cultural emotional system as a whole, because the society values collectivism and foremost the emotional restraint. Therefore, this kind of digital fan engagement is there for emotional outlet, and let's say for those who are really desperate expression for all of these suppressed feelings without any possibility to get them out. And also it fights against loneliness. So there's a possibility for a connection outside their own personal bubble, even from school or work. It gives them more possibilities. Yeah, from K-pop, Korean music, there's lots of influence from here. So as like I said, there's possibility to connect with your idols through these live streams, but the most elementary thing how to create and build something stronger is also through the songs, which is the first level for the individuals, how to connect with artists, Korean idols, through their lyrics or through their catchy music. But lyrics is the most important within this framework, because it gives them also a big portion of motivation to maybe better deepen into the culture of the Korean framework and also of the language itself. So there are notorious words for which are appearing in these K-pop songs, or which are repeated in K-pop live streams. So fans a bit know what is happening, but still sometimes when we see these tables, some of them includes also textbooks version, which is not good, but in Korean it's a language which is really diverse, and it really depends on a recipient of your speech. Therefore, it's really needed to transform the word into the correct form to be not impolite. So yeah, in this kind of version, we can see only the more informal way for the phrases. Yes, in the textbook is a bit different, and also it's good outlet for the fans, because when we are speaking about language itself, the one part is a hardcore grammar and another is a simplified version of the language through everyday speaking. So this is one part of it. And of course, cannot skip the K-drama or K-movies influence, where there's like too many catchy phrases from here also. There are lots and lots of videos where fans are repeating what the idols or actors said in particular scene or particular moment, and it's good because sometimes it works as a way how to learn more vocabulary or maybe grammar. Firstly, of course, you don't know the regulations, the reason why is the word like that, but after some time when you look for it, it can give you much more possibilities how to learn the language itself. And why is that? Why am I talking about these emotions with learning? Because there are many and many of studies where the researchers prove that emotional connections can enhance the focus and retention, which is a really key part of learning any kind of language. On the picture, we can see the part of the brain which is called amygdala, and it plays a crucial role in emotional processing, and not only in that, also in memory and learning. And learning itself can, in the Korean context and Korean Hallyu wave, bring specific parasocial bonds, which can even be more helpful in the immersive language learning experience. Because of the various influences which are directed on the individual or so-called learner of the language. Yes. Yeah, and for that we need to look for all of the tools which are in the market, right? So when we look for the digital environment and language learning in general, there's plenty of ways how they can learn from the idol-generated content. We already covered live streams, also songs analysis, but there's also a special, let's say, category where idols can send letters to fans, and these letters are later translated. This also helps not only with learning vocabulary, grammar itself, but it shows also the handwritten form of the language, which in Korean is Hangul, and everybody has a different handwriting, of course. So most of the Korean learners have in the beginning problems to identify the version of the Hangul in the handwritten form. And of course, another thing is subtitled videos, which are also created sometimes by fans for fans. When it's better managed, also these entertainment agencies can do it too. And yeah, I mentioned song lyrics. There's plenty of analysis on YouTube as well as other media platforms where they not only talk about the hidden meaning, let's say, but about the grammar rules, so you can learn Korean with different groups. And in today's world, in modern society, of course, we have these new tools right now to use, for example, chatbots also, or AI-driven tools that can further personalize the learning experience of the individual. So when it comes to the social interaction itself with idols, there was one, let's say, Korean app called Idol, which worked on an unsupervised learning system, and that means that the app learned from the algorithm which was fed by the fans. And therefore, fans didn't act really nicely when they were chatting with this like chatbot, which the version of their favorite idol, because it's like humanity. We're not always 100% good to each other. And after all of that, idol started to act not really appropriate, and that shed darker light on the actual idol. Therefore, they needed to cancel it. But nowadays, they are still working on a new apps like that. I think there's plenty of it on the market right now, so you can even use it not only in like Korean space, but for the international celebrities. When we are talking about tools and plugins, I would also recommend for the language where you can watch, like for example, any K-drama with your English subtitles, as well as the second, for example, Korean subtitles. So it's really beneficial when you can like match these two. Yeah, so there's a bit of the example from how, for example, my doll used to look. It maybe would be able to find it somewhere, but it's not working ideally. So I would recommend maybe to try other versions of it. But what is still functioning is language reactor. When you like a binge watcher, it will be deeply beneficial for you, and even if you are not, it's like great for your vocabulary. You can even stop the Korean drama and repeat after your favorite actors. So it has lots positive sides. See the example of the private message from your idol. So this is only supporting the stronger and stronger bond between you as an individual, as a fan and celebrity, and therefore it can motivate you more to even learn the language and more about the culture itself. How we can then see idols as teachers? Easily. Idols model pronunciation and grammar naturally. For example, when fans can watch their live streams, it's easily to see them in their homey mood when they are not thinking. Of course, they are thinking about what are they going to say, but let's say they are not so stressed in comparison to some interview in the TV. So it's, let's say, less forced and more natural. And fans can then mimic and practice this singing, so through the songs they like, through interviews, even if it's like more forced, like I said, but still enough, and also social media posts, which are also quite frequent. Yeah, so therefore, in the end, the fan and the learner can get best of from the both worlds, right? They can get informal aids from their fans, and also formal when they need something like interviews where they need to be more than respectful to the moderator and be really careful about the language. But most of the times, things can be easily learned from the book itself because it's easy grammar. But there are words which cannot be easily found in the textbook itself, because it can be just a filler word or something which can be easily abbreviated from the cultural responding technique. And one of the example is, for example, the Korean filler adverb kwenchani. It means very or extremely, and it has only one function. Basically, we can say that in the sentence itself, do not need it there, really. It helps the speaker to give the sentence more emotional emphasis, and therefore this word is here to make something stronger, but it doesn't change the basic meaning of it. For the international audience, it's really not natural as for the native speaker. Therefore, this kind of examples are more than needed. And nowadays, we can see a slow change in the textbooks, which are trying to be more learner friendly. But of course, they cannot include every kind of informal rules or even filler words. So just added here the example of Kwenchani Oriovoya. It's very difficult, for example. The topic is really difficult, and this was said by many times by from BTS. Or we can create a specific connection with idols who are not native speakers in Korean, so they need to learn Korean just like any other international fan. Here on the picture, we can see Felix from the Stray Kids holding Korean grammar in use. Many of you may see this book when you were trying to grasp the elementary rules of the Korean. But of course, nowadays there are lots of also immersive Korean apps, which I would deeply recommend. But yeah, this is another supportive elements of idols as teachers. Another part of it is that agency are trying to create educational materials for fans related to their favorite Korean groups. For example, in the notorious example with the Korean group BTS, which has a recording of the singers. You can easily hear the voices of your favorite idol in this pen, guiding you through your educational system. So this is also really beneficial. Last but not least, there's a lot of also international Korean teachers, also Korean teachers as well, but this is the example from the Go Billy Korean platform, in which you can see that he focuses his content on every kind of idol, and then from the grammatical point of view and also vocabulary, he is trying to get closer to the core of how they are expressing themselves, which is better for understanding of the Korean language itself. This is another example of the way how you can get a stronger vocabulary system. Just a few examples from the tables and pictures of idols who is showing you different kind of words, and you can usually use it for the basic Korean words, like you can see in this table. But of course, fans are trying to be more immersive, and not only fans but also now teachers are trying to elevate these vocabularies to another level, because most of these materials, especially with books like this, for example, they can get you only into a certain level of the language, of the Korean language, and they unfortunately they do not cover all of the needed levels for higher level students. So yeah, it's helpful mostly for the beginners, but not for everyone. Plenty materials online which are not produced in such an agency way. So yeah, there's also a solution for every kind of problem. Yeah. And we had a bit of K-pop, so now a bit of K-drama, because Hallyu Wave. I choose study group K-drama. I don't know if you watch it. I deeply recommend this. It's brand new, and I took concrete grammar from this kind of K-drama, so we can show each other how it works and where you can use it. There was a scene where one character was saying to another following Shiro, Shiptako, Anhan Tako, and firstly it might seem a bit weird because it's like reported speech. It's used the form dago, but sometimes we can use it when someone is emphasizing their own feelings or thinking out loud. So it seems like the character is speaking about third person, not about himself. But in this case, when it's like emotionally connected, it means I said I don't like it. I said I won't do it. So he's talking about himself directly, even if it's like reported speech. So in the end, they're actually talking about it themselves, and if when you like don't know the rules of it, it for the international learner, it's an international fan, it might seem a little bit weird sometimes, but for this kind of cases, that's a perfect charm of the Korean grammar. You need to like immerse it in the system so you can enjoy it fully, even through your favorite selection of K-drama. There's like a strong relation to the parasocial interaction and learning motivation. Therefore, in this context, Hallyu Wave is more than an important supportive part of it. This emotional bond can drive even higher level language acquisition, which is another positive part of it. And we have also many case studies nowadays with fans who are improving their language skills through idol related content. Therefore, I'm not saying it's a bulletproof proof, but at least it's something. Many of you could think it's just a relaxation when you do it, but no, it's really good for our brain to stimulate the brain, not only with like theoretical textbook things, but also take information from another source. But on the other hand, we need to look at it from the other side of the coin. And there's like over reliance on entertainment based learning, and also it's not really structured, right? So fans can decide themselves when they want to learn, and it's not really sometimes regular than like classical learning. And also there's also like ethical consideration in parasocial learning dynamics, because parasocial relationships, as I said, have this kind of dark-ish also side where you can just, some of the expression can be pathological, let's say. So in every kind of scenario, we need to find a balance. It's really important tool for the education right now, because it also supports memory and also fosters motivation. And for the future, we can see a bigger impact of the chatbots and AI-driven educational models, which can be maybe a merge model with learning assistant plus your favorite idol. I think we have some questions, so let me read them and I will reply. So, do you think the New Zealand-born Australian-raised English speaker Rose benefits from Korean pop, or is influencing the future development of K-pop? She is from Australia originally, but she needed to learn also the Korean itself. So there's also a parallel in which we can say that she went through the phases of learner as a regular fan, let's say. So this can be also bring a big benefit for the international influence, because of this possible route that is much more similar, and how it is influencing the development of K-pop. I would say nowadays she selected a good collaboration, let's say, and we will see how her career will gonna evolve, because her album now is more in English, but maybe we will receive something Korean, more Korean in the next albums, or even with collaboration with Blackpink members again, which is more than possible for the next months or years, because they still under the agency. So we will see. And for the second question, what is my favorite K-pop band and K-drama? Thank you for the question. Personally, I started with in 2015 with the first introduction of the group EXO, and then and back then I wasn't really into it because I was a bit forced then. So I needed to find my own way, and it came in 2018 when I started to like BTS, but much more the individualistic or the older songs. So, for example, songs like Reflection from RM or Sugar Set Me Free. So things that have a more sentimental value for me. And for the K-drama, so you saw the study group example. This was the previous one, which I really liked. And maybe her private life was also good example of fan idol interaction. So I would say these two. Yeah, and I forgot to mention that I'm in the stage of the K-pop right now where I'm a multi-listener. So yeah, it came to this point. Yeah, do you like reading manhwas, and which are my favorites. So yeah, I will connect it to the K-dramas maybe because there's a really popular webtoon, manhwa webtoon like True Beauty. So maybe this is the most like for common ground for manhwas and also K-dramas fans. But besides webtoon, I do enjoy reading also classical manhwa. So yes, I have plenty of one. It's really hard to choose from them right now, but I don't know if you're still connection to the K-drama. You were watching the new seasons of a K-drama called My Dearest Nemesis. There's also manhwa about that. And I just started to read it in Korean. So I deeply maybe recommend this, even if I did not finish it still. So this is my recommendation. Does parasocial relationships or interactions happen with other languages such as Japanese or Chinese or others? Thank you for the question, brilliant question. So we already, as I'm like teaching also at Masaryk University, we have a specific class dedicated to Korean pop, and we also covered the differences between different agencies, for example, in Japan or China. And we came to the conclusion that it is possible, but they use different system of advertising their idols, and therefore it can be even stronger in some cases. In some cases, lower because in China you need to, for example, know all of the history of the group, which had like 50 members, which is really strong to really hard to catch up and really like hard to get into. So from this perspective it's a bit harder maybe, but of course for every kind of language, for basically anything you like, you can create a simple parasocial relationship, and you can use it as a motivation to learn more. I'm deeply thankful for your listening my talk. Thank you.